Thank goodness for a big blue stem. These steers and these bulls are absolutely loving it. So palatable. It's got no toxins in it. It's just super good forage in the summertime. Here we are, June 16th. And the big blue is cranking. Absolutely cranking. Some of the bulls went past the gates like, how did y'all get in there? There, a few of them are coming back. It's like, oh, big boy came back. Two more big boys went down the other side. They'll come back. Yeah, this is it. This is what you look forward to, you know. In the wintertime, you're out here fighting the elements and the snow and the ice and the cold weather. And today, the cattle are feeding themselves on super high quality grass, or gaining weight. You got the tree swallows out over the top of them, eating the flies. We just put up 60 tree swallow houses on this farm. An adult pair of tree swallows will eat around 8,000 flies per day. So it's pretty good fly control. They don't get them all, but they work on them. And the way I look at it, if you can use nature and birds as a natural fly control, you can take that fly chemical and all that stuff you're pouring on your animals and just take it on back to town, because I don't want it. All it's doing is killing your soil microbes. So, you know, as long as you fight nature, nature's gonna win. You gotta learn to work with nature. And that's what I'm always looking at. If there's a place on my farm that I can use nature instead of reaching in my wallet and spending money on an antidote that doesn't actually cure the situation, it just makes you feel better because you spent some money. I'm not into that. I'm into ruminants that can feed themselves as many days of the year as possible. And every day that they feed themselves, folks, that's a day that you don't have to, you know, spend money. You don't keep this thing closed up. Don't be opening that up. Because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of input people who like to reach their fingers in there and empty your wallet and, you know, convince you that you've got to be doing all this other stuff. And, you know, if you want to spend money on your cattle, by all means, you know, if that's what makes you happy and that's in your quality of life statement, is to spend money on your livestock and prop them up with all this stuff that they tell you need, just knock it out of the park, you know? Go do that. Be happy. But if you want to make a living and raise your family and be in a position to let your cow herd buy more land for you, that's what Jan and I have done. So the farms that we're buying now are all being generated. The income is being generated by this cow herd. So, you know, set you up a land account. Every time you sell some animals, put a percentage of that check in your land account. And when the animals generate enough money, go buy a farm. You don't need a bank. I think it's the worst thing in the world to be indebted to a bank the rest of your life, paying them interest, when you could keep that money you spent as interest. That's the money you could have spent on principal, you know, to buy a farm. So they aren't making any more land. But I'm going to tell you, starting out, folks, don't go out and buy land, especially if you're young. Rent it. Go out and find a lease. Lease some land. Got a book on it. It's called No Risk Ranching. It's on our website. It's even got the grazing leases in there that I wrote. And people say, well, Greg, you're awful picky about your leases. Why did you put that in there? Why did you put that in there? Well, you can poke fun at it all you want, but at the end of the day, it's worked. And You know, we've got a lot of land leases today based on the concepts that I cover in that book. And there's been a lot of people, hundreds, that have emailed me over the last 25 years. That book came out in 2001, so 24 years. They said it actually absolutely changed their life. They'd given up on ever having a farm or any kind of grazing operation because it was in their mindset that they had to own the land. And once they got that paragraph I wrote in there, your sole purpose in life should not be to own the land, but to control it. What are we talking about there? We're talking about leasing. Leasing land allows you to generate the income for later on down the road. You can buy some land and not go into debt to do it. Or we didn't buy land at the start, we bought livestock. Well, once we got our livestock herd paid for 100%, then they started generating the income to buy the land. So, you know, it's what you want to do. I mean, I get it. There's people that are hard-headed. It's the way my dad did it, it's the way my grandpa did it, and that's the way I'm going to do it. Well, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you to change. I mean, if that's what you want to do. But then I hear people saying, well, Greg, you can't make a living in the beef cattle business today, or in any grazing, in any livestock enterprise. There's just no money in it. Well, it's because you didn't do it right. Okay? So don't blame the livestock, don't blame the forage that you can't make a living at it just because you didn't structure it correctly. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. It's a beautiful day. I've still got some fence to put up. We're gonna be moving these guys out of here tonight. And boy, they are absolutely fat. It's slick. The only ones that haven't slicked off would be the yearlings. And even the yearlings are starting to slick off. But the 2 and 3 year olds, the bulls, they're just as slick as a button. Some of them look like you put armor on. I mean, look at that. They're looking good. I love slick, oily looking animals. If they're slick and oily, they got a nice slick hair coat. What they're telling you is they're performing 100% in their environment. And that's what you want. You want animals that'll perform. If they eat your grass and they don't put on any weight, you're not making any money. You got to put weight on. And if you got your animals too big, you're never going to get there. And that's because a large-bodied animal can't eat enough grass to get fat and finish, especially cows. I see that calf just reached up and took a little bite of that poison hemlock. But there's only 2 plants there. They're kind of nibbling on it. It's probably going to give them an upset gut. Some of them probably never seen it before. They did. They kind of nibbled on it like that one's, nope. He just stuck his nose on it. He's like, nah, I'm not going to eat that. That'll make me sick. There's 3 plants of poison hemlock over there. It's all about getting your cattle size matched to your environment. If you're running elephants out there on your grass and they're tearing your farm up and they're not putting any weight on because they're great big old bone things, and they, you know, you can walk underneath their belly without touching their belly with your head. Just exaggerating, but seriously, if you can take a newspaper and open it up and stick it under the belly of the animal and read it without it touching the ground, you have got way too much leg on your cows or your steers or your bulls. Long-legged animals will absolutely destroy any chance you have of making a profit. Folks, they gotta stay fat on grass. You gotta get your size right. If you've got this, you know, I call it Greyhound bus out there trying to get fat on grass versus a Volkswagen, which one's gonna get finished quicker? Well, I can tell you which one. It's not the Greyhound bus. I'm gonna get out of here. Folks, you all have a good one, and check out our website. We've got an opening for a full-time internship at our farm. And it is a paid internship. We get vacation, paid holidays, living quarters, all expenses paid. And you get to learn a craft that you can take with you the rest of your life and support yourself and your family. Folks, there's a lot of people coming back to the land, and there's not very many of them that have a very good understanding of what it takes to run a successful grazing operation. I see a lot of wrecks happening, and I feel bad for the animals, I feel bad for the people, and I feel bad for the land. But learn it, do it correctly, and it's a great lifestyle. It's the best there is in the whole world. All right, take care, see ya.